Hey everyone, have you ever thought that do what you love and the money will follow thing is missing something,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
a key ingredient?
Ah,
Well, today we're going to pick the brain of Robert Kiyosaki,
Right.
the rich dad, poor dad guy,
Right,
to
right.
see if we can figure out how to actually turn our passions into, well, profits.
Yeah, Kiyosaki, he really shakes things up when it comes to money advice.
Oh, yeah.
He says it's not enough to just do what you love.
Okay.
You got to invest in it.
Invest, huh? So
Yeah.
how does that work?
Think of it like this. You can't just stare at a garden and expect it to bloom, right?
I wish.
You got to plant those seeds, water them,
Yeah.
maybe even build a greenhouse.
Give them that extra love.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say I'm a total foodie.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Like, I live for trying new restaurants, experimenting with recipes, the
Sure.
whole deal. Kiyosaki's not going to tell me to just up and open a restaurant.
Right.
Not quite.
Okay, so what would he say? He'd probably tell you to think about ways to invest in that food you love.
Hmm. Interesting.
Maybe you start small, take a fancy cooking class,
Okay.
or you could even dip your toes into the stock market.
Oh, like investing in restaurant chains or something.
Exactly. Or those meal delivery services everyone's using. The point is, you got to think beyond just enjoying your passion.
Right.
Start looking at it like an investor would.
So finding ways to turn something you love into
Mhm.
something that makes you money.
Or grows in value over time.
I see. So it's a long game.
Exactly. And Kiyosaki, he has these 4 categories of assets to help us figure that out.
Okay, so let's hear it.
Cash flowing assets,
Yeah.
capital gains assets,
Okay.
tax advantaged assets, and my personal favorite, lifestyle assets.
Ooh, lifestyle assets, those sound intriguing. But first, let's break down these cash flowing assets. What are those exactly?
So these are the workhorses of your portfolio.
Workhorses, okay.
They bring in a steady income like a paycheck.
Got it. So what falls under that category?
Well, think of things like rental properties. You collect rent every month.
Right. Consistent cash flow.
Exactly. Another good example is dividend-paying stocks.
So those cash flowing assets sound like a good foundation.
Yeah.
But what about investments that are more about growth over time?
You're talking about capital gains assets.
Right. Is that what those are?
Those are the ones you buy, hoping they'll be worth a lot more someday.
So like stocks.
Stocks, real estate, those are the classics.
And you don't necessarily see that immediate return.
Not like with rentals, no. It's
Yeah.
more about the long game.
Makes sense. So we've got short-term income and long-term growth.
Right.
Now, what about those tax advantages you mentioned?
Oh, yeah, those are key. Everyone loves a good tax break.
Absolutely. Who doesn't want to keep more of their hard-earned money?
Exactly. So with tax advantage assets, you're strategically planning for the future.
Okay, so what are we talking about here specifically?
Things like your 401k, a Roth IRA.
Right, retirement stuff.
Exactly. Making your money work smarter, not harder.
And then there are the lifestyle assets, the fun stuff.
Yes, the fun stuff.
So this is where we get into things that might not be traditional investments,
Yeah,
but they make life a lot more enjoyable.
exactly.
We're talking about our homes,
Sure.
maybe a vacation property, that classic car you've always wanted.
Right, things that bring you joy.
Mm-hmm.
Though Kiyosaki does say to be careful about overspending on those.
That makes sense. It's all about balance, right?
Exactly. You want to enjoy life, but not derail your financial goals.
Now, one thing I've always wondered about is this whole liquidity thing.
Okay, yeah.
It seems important, but how do you actually make sure you have it?
Good question, because it can sound kind of abstract,
It does.
Classically, it means having cash on hand
Okay.
or assets you can quickly turn into cash without losing money.
So you're ready for anything.
Exactly. Like that dream investment opportunity pops up,
Right.
but all your money is tied up in long-term things.
Right. Oh, and you have to pass it up. I've been there. When I was first starting out as a freelance photographer, this big wedding gig came up,
Oh, yeah.
but I couldn't afford to upgrade my equipment at the time.
Oof, that's tough.
It was a huge bummer.
Yeah, that's a perfect example of why liquidity matters.
You need that cushion, that flexibility.
Exactly. For opportunities and for unexpected bumps in the road.
Now, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about some of the criticisms of Kiyosaki's ideas,
Sure.
because there are definitely people who have some doubts.
So, of course, every perspective has its critics.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, some people say his whole investing thing only works if you have money to begin with.
Right, like that whole it takes money to make money idea.
Exactly. And that can be discouraging if you're just starting out.
Totally. Like,
Yeah.
not everyone can just go buy a bunch of rental properties.
Right. And that's why it's important to remember that Kiyosaki's not giving you a step-by-step plan.
It's more like a set of guidelines.
Exactly. It's about figuring out how these ideas fit your life.
Okay, so let's say someone's really into photography,
Okay.
but they don't have tons of cash lying around. How could they use Kiyosaki's ideas?
Well, they could start by investing in themselves,
What do you mean?
like buying a better camera lens, getting that professional editing software.
Oh, so it's about improving your skills.
Exactly. Making yourself more valuable, which could lead to better paying gigs down the road.
That makes sense. So you're still investing, just in a different way.
Exactly. And as their photography business takes off,
Yeah.
they could look at other options,
Yeah.
maybe putting some income aside for retirement or even selling prints of their work.
So they're gradually building up a portfolio that aligns with their passion.
Exactly. And don't forget, Kiyosaki's big on the idea that this isn't passive.
It's not like you just throw money at something and hope for the best.
Right. You got to keep learning, take calculated risks, and be ready to adapt.
So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
No way. It's about putting in the work, making smart choices,
Right.
and thinking long term.
So really, Kiyosaki's message is for everyone.
Absolutely.
It's just about finding those opportunities to invest in yourself and what you love.
And build a life where passion and prosperity go hand in hand.
I love that. Well, this has been an awesome deep dive.
I agree.
It's really got me thinking about all the different ways we can invest in our own success.
Yeah, me too. And who knows, maybe this is the spark someone needed to take their passion to the next level.
Exactly. So until next time, keep exploring those possibilities.
And happy investing, everyone.